Hey there, everyone. How's it going? Today, I'm going to be doing some stuff with BigQuery. Yes, BigQuery. So, someone gave me a good suggestion when it came to making up data sets like these hypothetical scenarios. And so, I want to thank you for whoever mentioned that comment because here it is, guys. Now, I'm going to be doing another video where I actually show you guys the process of importing this data set that I created. But I'll go ahead and click over here to this Excel file. And I decided to start making out a list of the different hikes. So like, let's say, for instance, that some of you out there are like a carpenter or a plumber. So I'm going to come out with a hypothetical scenario, and maybe this might apply to some of you out there. Maybe there's someone out there who's got the same idea. So here it is. You are a carpenter. You're trying to save up money because one day you're going to want to be able to start a local hiking tour service for people that come in, like for tourists. So you're looking forward to saving up enough money to start your own uh, hiking tours. But let's say, okay, you're a carpenter and you love hiking yourself, but you like to play it safe because you know if you get yourself hurt, you're not going to be able to do any work. You're going to be out of work. But you get coaxed by a couple of friends to do like this really difficult hike, and so you decide against your best wishes that you're going to go on this super difficult hike, knowing that if something happens, you're going to be out of work and you're trying to save up money to start this uh, tourism for people coming in looking for hikes. So, like a guide service, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to start up a hiking guide service. Okay, so you decide to go on this hike, and your friends decide they want to start trail running down this hill. Well, you decide to see if you can keep up, and somehow you trip over this route that you didn't see on the trail, and you end up falling over about a 150-foot embankment, severe head injury. You end up breaking both of your legs, fractured hip, and you wake up a couple days later in the hospital to realize you're not going to be able to work and your dream of starting your hiking guide service is out of reach. But fear no more because maybe you might not be able to guide hikes yourself, but who's to say you can't start your own hiking service? You'll just have to hire guides to do the tours for you. So let's say, okay, you're injured, you're bedridden, the doctor says you can no longer hike. I mean, you'll never be able to hike again, but you still want to start this hiking service. Well, you're going to have to find some guides for you, and you're trying to figure out how you can allocate uh, uh, these hikes for different guides. So you decide that, okay, well, maybe you have a guide that's going to take tourists on the easy hikes. Then you have another guide that might take them on the moderate hikes, and then another one for like the difficult hikes. Okay, let me pop on over here. Hey there, Hannibal, Himini. Oh God, oh yeah, that Colombian dream, dream of competing in the Winter Olympic Games. I don't know if you saw, I think I made a video on that a few weeks ago, how pretty much that was nothing more than like a pipe dream. Yeah, so competing in the Winter Olympic Games for the country of Colombia, super pipe dreamish because for one, I would need to have a remote job that paid enough for me to compete. And each competition would run me about eight to $10,000, and I would have to do at least 4 to 5 races a year. So that's like $40 to $50,000 a year to be able to be competitive in that sport because it's you got the travel, you've got to be able to pay for entry fee, hotel, coaching, uh, and then of course taking care of your equipment. So it's a super expensive hobby sport. So that's why it's pretty much a pipe dream. so so that's yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that's kind of off the radar for right now. So yeah. So right now, I am just focusing on trying to build on my skills, and so like I mentioned at the very beginning, I do plan to show you guys how I actually import this data from this CVS file that I created here. And so I kind of skipped over that for this video, but like I mentioned, you're you're someone that's completely bedridden, you're severely injured, and you've been told that you can never go on a hike or do any kind of guide service. But that doesn't mean that you can't start your own guide service. You're just going to have to hire guides to lead the hikes for you, and then you give them a certain amount of commission, and then you get the rest. You might make, say, like maybe 10 to 15% from each tourist. So, okay, you're trying to allocate. Okay, let's say you've got guide number one, and he's like only interested in doing easy hikes. So, first of all, I've got this data set here. Trail data. So what you can do here is you can just kind of get a preview of the data. So here I've got the name, the elevation gain, the distance, and the difficulty. It's either moderate or hard, but maybe you want to be a little bit more granular, and that's really not hard or moderate. Maybe your guides are interested. Some may be interested in like shorter distance hikes. Some may be interested in moderate distance, and others may be into the long distance. Or maybe you might want to break it up, say like if it's like over 8 miles and over 3,000 feet of gain, that could be considered difficult. But for simplicity's sake, you can kind of get a preview for the table here, and then you get the details, so the table ID. And actually I'm going to copy this because when I run my queries, I'm going to want to just kind of keep that copied. And then the schema here is I've got the name, which of course is a string data type, elevation gain, it's an integer, distance is a float, difficulty is also a string, and location is also a string. So we're going to go ahead and run our first query. So I'm going to hit on this plus icon, compose a new query, and we're just going to start off super basic. We want to get an idea. Let's say that, by the time I'm done with this, I'm probably going to have like, say, 100 or 150 hikes on that CVS file. So we're just going to start off nice and easy. And then I'm going to copy, and then I'm just going to paste. Oops, yeah, there we go. And I'm just going to hit the run here. All right, and there you have it. So pretty straightforward. So now we want to figure out, okay, you've got 3 guides lined up, and you got one guide that's willing to do shorter distance hikes with not so much elevation gain. So we're going to figure out, okay, well, we want to determine, okay, you can consider short like anything under 6 miles round trip. So as you can see here, we've got some trails here that are like 9.2 miles, 7.8, but we want to filter out our results. So what we do here is we're going to apply the where clause. So we're going to put where distance is less than or equal to 6. And we can just put 6.0 just to be safe. And we're going to go ahead and so you can see here, as long as you've got this check mark here, the query should run without issues. But let's say I decide to put in a little error in here. Well, now I'm going to probably get an error message. See, yep, syntax error. So that's a nice feature about BigQuery is you'll get a message here letting you know if there's like any syntax errors or any other errors that are going to prevent your query from running. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, it looks like it's good to go. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And I'm going to pull this up a little bit. All right, so it looks like as far as your guide that wants to do the shorter hikes and with less elevation gain, they're going to be looking to do Rattlesnake Ledge, Lake 22, and West Tiger 3. And just for fun, if you guys are into night hiking, if you're in the Washington State, especially like the Seattle area, and you want to get into night hiking, well, night hiking is challenging. I mean, I tell you, it is super challenging because you're always afraid of like wildlife or not being able to see obstacles. So a good introductory hike where there'll probably be other people on the trail, especially for sunrise hikes, is Rattlesnake Ledge. So that's a good introductory hike. Okay, Himini, yes, there actually has been a Colombian in the Winter Olympic Games in skiing. It was in slalom and giant slalom. So yes, Colombia does have a ski racer. They actually do. All right, so we're going to pop back over onto my BigQuery here. And so now what I can do if I wanted to, I could save these results. So I could save it as a CVS file locally, or I could copy to Google Sheets. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see what happens if I click it as a CVS file. And voila, now I've got myself a CVS file. And if I open it, it should open up here. Okay, click on it. Let's see. Come on. It's taking a while. Computer's being a little slow. There you have it. So this can be useful. So like say you're trying to organize your hikes and figure out, okay, which guide is going to do which hikes. Well, now that you've extracted your data, these are the hikes that could be for guide, say guide number one. So you could just like name the file guide number one. Okay, now let's say we want to get, okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to my BigQuery here. Let's say we want to figure out what the average vertical gain is for all of the hikes, say in the central region. So what we're going to have to do here is we're going to select, so we'll go ahead and select, and then we're going to do average, and we're going to do average elevation, and so that gain from where, and we're just concerned with location is equal to central. Okay, it looks like I don't have any errors, so I'm going to go ahead and hit run. All right, so that's the average elevation gain of all the hikes in the central region. And see, that's what I really like about BigQuery is oftentimes, like say in MySQL Workbench or Oracle, you have to sometimes rely on like running a query and then like, oh, it didn't run. But here you get a lot of help by this message here saying, okay, there's no errors, so your query should run. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and select all my data again. Okay, cool. Should run. All right. Okay, now we want to find out what the average distance. Let's see if we can do this. Let's find out what the average elevation and the average distance is for each of the different locations. So what we do here is we're going to go ahead and, so this is getting a little more complex here. So we're going to go ahead and do average gain and distance, unrecognized name, elevation gain. See, that's what I like. It says unrecognized name. That's what I really like about BigQuery. Okay, so I got so far. Okay, so now I'm gonna group by the location. Syntax location. Oh. All right, so it looks like it should run. I'm gonna go ahead and hit run. All right, cool. So that's the average. So that's going to be the average. And to make this more readable, I'm going to use an alias here. So I'm going to put this as, and then I'm going to bet better average vertical and average distance. So maybe that should make it up. Okay, so maybe it's looking for double quote. Okay, let me see. Because sometimes you can. Okay, let me put. Okay, so let me. Okay. Average vertical. Maybe it doesn't like that space. I'm gonna see if it doesn't like that space here. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that out for. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Get rid of these for now. I don't want to spend too much time just figuring this out right now. Okay, so let me just go ahead and hit run again. Okay. So obviously you can see here, this is, what I was trying to do was I was trying to create an alias to where this would read like average vertical gain and average distance. Okay, let me pop on over to my comments here. Jeez, interesting comments. All right, okay, let me go back to my Power Query here. Okay, so yeah, so really this is what's nice about BigQuery is it's a good way to like uh, fetch data from different sources and then be able to upload it through this software here. So like that, what I did here is of course I have trail data, but also it's just a good way to practice working with other data sets. So for instance, I've got like this public data sets, and so if I scroll down here, let me go ahead and just scroll down here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. I'm just gonna type lightning. See if there's anything about lightning strikes. I'll just type in lightning and see if anything pops up. Oh yes. Number of strikes. Oh, this is pretty cool. Alright, so that's a preview. I'm gonna go ahead and preview it. So stores number. I'm guessing that's the number. So if you want to find out what each of the columns are, that's when you can look at the schema. So here we got the number of strikes, center point, geometry, source L. Okay, so number of strikes. All right, details. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just open up a new query here, and I'm going to just select, and I'm going to limit the results to only, I'm just going to limit it to 100. Okay, it should run. All right. All right, so we got, ooh, that's a lot of lightning strikes. But of course, you've got the date. So yeah, let's see, we want to figure out what were the total. So if I look at the, let me see, if I look at this data here, is this all for 2000? This might be all for 2000. Yeah, I'm gonna select more data. Let me limit 500. Lightning strikes. Whew, yeah, look at this. All right. Well, let's just assume this is for the year 2021. How many lightning strikes were there? Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna put this back down here so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm gonna say sum. I can go back. So if you're unsure of your schema here, you can look at this schema. So I'm looking for the number of strikes. Okay, there we go. So I want the number of strikes. So I'm gonna come back here to my save query. So I'm gonna do sum. Come back over here. All right. Oh, dang, that's a lot of lightning strikes. Woo, dang. Well, I guess it doesn't surprise me because, like, right now, there's probably lightning striking somewhere, on the planet. So I guess that doesn't surprise me that it would be that many. So let me scroll over here. Ooh, yeah, nested values in BigQuery. Ooh, let's see, nested values. I know, I don't think I have gotten there yet, but that's something I'm probably gonna look into. Dealt with nested values in BigQuery. No, I haven't. I don't believe I have, not yet at least. But this is something I actually have been learning these past couple of days as BigQuery as part of this certificate program I'm doing. So pretty useful. It's a lot of fun and just kind of exploring the different data sets, but also knowing that oftentimes this can be one of the requirements or like one of the required skills in some of the job postings I've seen. So it's like you got to be able to know, like, okay, how do you write a new query? How can you export data? So like, let's say I want to So if I want to come back here, I'm going to come back to, let me see, let me try, I'm going to try something here. Okay, I'm going to go to my crime. Okay, so I tried creating a data set here yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to try to create a table here. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to create open with, no, let's see. Oh no, this is already got, ooh, I think I already did upload this yesterday. I want to see if I can upload, let's see what other data I've got here. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is an interesting data set. Let's see what the name of this, I'm going to look at see what the name of this file I have is. Okay, Oracle, okay, I want to look at, okay, school learning modalities. Okay, so I'm going to try to look, school learning modalities. Okay, let me see if I can import that one. So I'm going to come over here, school learning modalities. Okay, so let's say I want to create a new data set. So I'm going to come over here. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create a data set, and I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it learning modalities. And it would help if I actually spelt correctly. Okay, create the data set. Okay. Okay, so now I've got the data set created, but now I want to create a table. Okay, so I'm going to export. I'm going to upload, select the file, browse. Okay, so I'm going to look, so school learning modalities. I'm going to open that. That's a CVS file. And I'm just going to auto detect. And we're going to see what happens. I'm probably going to get an error message. I'll see what happens. So, see, oh, now I got to name my table. I'm going to, let's see, I'll just put learning modalities. Okay. Okay, create table. Let's see, come on. All right. Might be taking a while. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, sometimes it's. Although it is a bigger data set, so it might take a few minutes to load. Let me see if I got any comments here. Hey, James Carter. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is taking a little. Let's see. Yeah, this is taking a little bit. I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Let me see, look at. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of rows. Yeah, 873,000 rows. Yeah, that might potentially take a few minutes to to load on there. So as you can see, that's what's really powerful about working with relational databases, because if you were just trying to do your analysis using a spreadsheet, as you can see here, this would be pretty time consuming. Of course, you've got different functions in here that you can utilize. Like if you're only concerned with, say, like a hybrid, you can do like filtering and so forth. But really, that's what's nice about SQL and working with databases, is it becomes a lot easier to filter your data. So let me see if I come back here. Is it still low? Yeah, it's still. Yeah, it might take a while because that's a lot. That's a lot of rows. Oh, geez. I'll give it a couple more minutes, but yeah. And my computer's battery is about to die on me. I guess whenever I do a live stream, I've got the webcam going. My battery seems to drain pretty quick. All right, see if I got any. No, I have not seen any good movies lately. I really haven't been too focused on watching any movies. So, yeah. No movies for me. Not as of late. Yeah, this is taking a while. This is taking a while. Let me see. Let me try something here. No, I'm gonna just go ahead and hit cancel here. because it's taking a while. Yeah, that's quite. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but it was taking a long time to load. So let's see, what else have I got here? I go here. So crime data. So we come back here to my local hikes. All right, come back to my local hikes. Okay, preview. All right, so let's see, what else can we do here? All right, maybe I could, let's see, what could I do here? Well, yeah, I think that's going to call it good for now, guys. But yeah, I think I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to add more to this spreadsheet here. I'm going to try to add like another 20 or 30 hikes in here so I can make this a little more interesting. I'm probably going to switch this around a little bit and maybe add another column or two just to kind of make it more interesting, and then see make another live stream. I'll probably do it tomorrow of where I kind of run through the entire process of like uploading this CVS file onto BigQuery and then running some queries and then creating some new CSV files and kind of like simulating trying to start up a guide service if you're someone that can no longer hike but you still want to be a part of the industry. Because let's face it, guys, hiking, skiing, cycling, it carries like inherent risks. And if you suffer a catastrophic injury, knock on wood that doesn't happen, but if it does happen and you are working a job that requires you to be able to be on your feet and requires like any kind of walking around and you suffer an injury, yeah, you're going to be out of work. So it's always a good idea to have a backup plan. So kind of made out this hypothetical scenario here of imagining someone that can no longer hike, but they still want to start a business. Okay. Job search, it's going good. I applied for another position today. The position I applied for was a cash auditor at the ski resort. So cash auditor, some of the skills that were listed were Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and knowledge of databases. So the two keywords I saw there that struck my interest was Excel and databases. Yes, cash auditor. And yeah, it's a seasonal position, but hey, if I can get this position, I feel like that would be a good way to get my foot in the door, because working with numbers, working with Excel, and anything with databases, hey, it's a win-win. So I applied for that position today, so I'll let you guys know if I hear anything back from that, any response I get back. But I think that's a good way to start. Like I said, I've got to kind of maybe start down a little lower, like data entry, or like I mentioned before, like a payroll clerk. So this one I applied for is called a cash auditor. So let's hope for the best, guys. But I think I am going to call it good for now, as I am kind of running out of any ideas to kind of practice with. So I'm going to continue to build on this data set here that I'm creating, and I'll come back at you guys back tomorrow. But I am, before that, I do still need to make that HAP Day app, that well-being review about using an app called HAP Day. I still need to get done with that. So I thank you all for joining in. But yeah, I think I'm going to go get myself something to eat. And yeah, I'm going to continue working on my studies. And once again, thank you all for joining. Peace.